This is how I went from anxious, worried, fearful and depressed to confident, happy and fulfilled. You may see videos out there of people talking about how to overcome anxiety, how to overcome depression, how to overcome fear and all that kind of stuff. Not all of them have struggled with it themselves. Now I know it book smart because I've studied it as well, but also I've been through it so I actually understand it. It's not always step by step, but I'm going to give you 3 things that I did that are really inevitable that you have to do in order to start to make the shifts because they're so important. So if you stay to the end of this video, you'll understand how you can go from anxious to confident. And I'm not telling you this is a quick fix. I'm not giving you that hope that it's a quick fix because there's stuff that we have to do and I'm going to give you the steps. So it's down to you if you want to make those changes, but bear with me on this one and trust me that you will thank me in the next few years or even few months if you master this quickly. So the first step and the most important step is to decide. Decide what you want. Do you actually know how you feel right now? First of all, awareness. Then you need to know what it is that you want. Do you want to be more confident? And not just, yeah, of course I do, of course. No. You have to make that decision that today is the last day that you stay the way that you've always been up until this point. You have to make that decision. You can't beat around the bush. You have to make that decision. It's a difficult decision to make because you've always been this way. Now, what I'm going to tell you is very important for you to understand. If I told you today to just speak Chinese and you've never spoken Chinese, how can you do it? You physically can't do it. Why? Because you do not know how to speak Chinese. You have to learn Chinese in order to speak Chinese. You have to learn confidence in order to speak confidence. And I'm going to get onto that in the 3rd step. So in order to make a decision is to truly commit to that which you want. Truly commit to confidence, to removing the anxiety. So we've got to be aware of our triggers. That's not really in this, but we have to be aware of our triggers, and that's sort of the step 0 if you want, because we have to be aware of what's going on around us. We have to be aware of what triggers our anxiety, what has caused our anxiety, and the best way to understand this is most likely to speak to a therapist or do a lot of deep self-healing work. That's going to be the best way. If you want to speak to me, just drop me a message or head over to my website. But you need to know what's starting it, what caused it, and where it stemmed from, because you weren't born anxious. You just weren't. You did not come out worrying what people thought about you. It's a learned behavior. So if you can learn a behavior, can you unlearn a behavior? The answer is absolutely 100% yes. I've done it. I'm proof. So step number 1 really is make that decision today and commit to that decision. Whenever you start to feel those old negative thoughts, those old anxious feelings, those old anxious thoughts, you need to be aware of them. Okay, I'm actually feeling nervous right now. Why am I feeling nervous? And we start to need to become a good questioner to shift how we are feeling. Because step number 2, which is very, very, very important, are the external circumstances that are around us. Address all the external circumstances. Who are your friends? What is your family life like? What is your diet like? Are you exercising? These are the core basics. If you haven't got these right, then of course you're not going to feel great. If you've got everyone in your life saying that you're worthless, of course you're going to feel worthless. If you're not feeding your body nutritious and nourishing foods, then of course you're not going to feel great about yourself. The core basics need to be addressed. And again, as I said, overcoming our past and who we were is difficult because we're changing our whole personality here. And yes, you will have people say, you've changed. And you're like, yeah, good. That was my point. I want to change. Start to address the people that you're closest to. What is your relationship like? Do they make you feel good about yourself? Do they tell you that you are great? Do they appreciate you? Do they love you? Do they care for you? Your family life. Do they appreciate you, love you and care for you? Your friends, do they appreciate, love and care for you? And notice that family doesn't have to be blood related. Family is someone who is truly there for you. So you don't need to have a blood relation in order to have this. And if someone's toxic, they don't have a right just because they're your dad or just because they're your mum or just because they're your sister, your brother, whatever. Toxic is toxic. My dad was very toxic, hence why I do not see him. And people have always said to me, but he's your dad at the end of the day. You should probably... No. If you are my dad, then you should be even more loving and caring and less toxic, right? Blood means nothing. Blood is just someone... Like, you didn't ask to be born into this world. Let's put it that way. If you're born into this world, you should be cared for by the people around you, period. You choose your relationships. You can choose to go into a negative and narcissistic relationship, you can. And the only reason that we will do that is because of past experiences. So it's not as easy as just like you make a choice, and I'm not saying that in any way, because it's based on our past experiences of what we've experienced, which allow us to go into these type of relationships, if that makes sense. So step number 2 is really address all the external circumstances, everything that's outside of you that you can address, because some things we just can't address. So there's things that we can work on, but there's other things that we can't change. Again, our height. Can't change our height. Can we change our weight? Yes, we can. Can we get more muscly? Yes, we can. Can we lose weight? Yes, we can. Can we put on weight? Yes, we can. Can we change the colour of our eyes? No. There's things we can't change, but there's also things we can change. So when you focus on what you can change, you will change. When you focus on what you can't change, you feel complete fear, panic, sheer anger, because you can't change it. There's nothing you can do about that. I cannot change the fact that I am 5'8". I can't change that fact. I can put shoes on and make myself a little bit taller, but I cannot change that. I can get angry that everyone's taller than me. I can get angry that I'm not that tall, or I can get on with it. Some people have great genetics. Some people can go to the gym regularly and get into great shape very quickly. For me, it's taken me a very long time to get into good shape, but also I've had to put a lot of work in. Then I stopped going to the gym over the pandemic stuff, so I hadn't been to the gym for a while, so then I lost it all. Then I had to regain it all. So it's all the things that we can control. So when you focus on what you can control, you will no longer feel the suffering, because it's something that you can change. Like I said, you can't change your height. You just can't. And we shouldn't try to change things we can't change. If people don't want to be around you, you can't change that. It's very easy for me. If someone's going to cut me off, I can't do anything about that. Fine, cut me off, I'll cut you off. It doesn't bother me. When it's me cutting someone off, that's a bit more difficult for me, because that's something that's in my control. So focus on the things that you can control. Stop focusing on things you can't. And then the third and most important one is the internal circumstances. Address all the internal circumstances that are going on within us. What is going on within us? How are you feeling? Because I didn't know how to be confident. I had less clue than anyone. I was shy, anxious, awkward. The only thing that gave me confidence was cocaine. That was the only thing. Because that allowed me to be someone who I wasn't. It was I believe a release of, I think, dopamine. I don't know what it is, but I'm pretty sure it's dopamine. So I had a massive hit of dopamine. So I was just confident. I was happy. I was bubbly. But it was man-made. It wasn't real. It wasn't real confidence. Now, we all know what a confident person is like. If I said to you right now, I'm going to give 2 examples. This person right here, and this person right here. Which one of the 2 is confident? You don't need a degree in psychology to know which one's confident. It's basic body language. You can tell. It's easy to understand. Now, how to have a conversation with people, that's a skill you can learn. Because just as I said at the start, you weren't born anxious, but also you weren't born confident. You are programmed. From ages 0 to 7, you are programmed. It is the programming period of your life. Are you living out the programs that you were given? Or are you making that decision which you've just done in this video? You can't take it back now. You've made the decision. You said it, not me. You joined the video. You've made the decision to change. You're here today. You're clearly trying to make the decision to change. So the fact that you're here is proof that you're making that decision. So first of all, pat yourself on the back, and do that now. Honestly, stop what you're doing. Pat yourself on the back, because you need to realize that decision is huge. If I never made that decision, I wouldn't be making this video today. I couldn't speak on the phone to people because I was nervous. I couldn't do it. Now I literally work with people one-to-one and help them overcome anxiety. I literally make videos every single day speaking to a camera. I have to hear my voice every day when I edit videos. I used to despise hearing my voice, but now it's just a second nature. I learn confidence. Confidence is something you can and will learn. And if you want me to make more videos on how to be confident and specific skills that I've learned that have allowed me to be a better conversationalist, how to address people around me, and be comfortable in my own skin, then watch my videos. You will understand that, I promise you. And also, I did make a 30-day meditation challenge that's on my website, www.maxhindle.com/masteryourmind. And it's 30 free meditations that can allow you to understand yourself and learn to gain that confidence. Be crystal clear on who it is you want to be. Because once you do the challenge, you'll start to be clear on, okay, so this is the type of person I want to be. I used to be petrified of public speaking. When I started to imagine myself on stage speaking in front of people, the fear started to lessen. I overcame my fear by just imagination. You can overcome social anxiety with imagination. I help people do it much faster. That's why I do what I do, because I needed that 5 years ago and I wish I would have had it and I just didn't have it. So now I'm that person. I always want to be who I wanted, if that makes sense. So if you want that 30-day meditation, just head over to my website. It'll be in the description as well. But comment any questions that you have specifically about confidence or anxiety, because I am here to serve you. I'm here to help you. I needed me back then, so I am going to be here to help you. Use it, abuse it. Not everyone can work with me one-to-one, but that is why I post so much free content, so that you can truly change your life. That's why I'm here. Because in the future, your thanks and your gratitude towards how I've been able to help will be what will fulfill me, and it does fulfill me. So that's why I do it. But they're the 3 simple things to how I overcame anxiety. I decided, I addressed my external circumstances, I addressed my internal circumstances, and I made the changes. It's not light work, it's difficult. But you've got this, I believe in you. And also, subscribe.